everybody, Merry Christmas. Welcome to Barb's Backyard Vittles. You wouldn't expect it, being almost 70-some degrees here in North Carolina in December. One of the reasons why I live in North Carolina is you never know what the weather's going to be. It's allowing me to finally get to make the pumpkin cake that I've been trying to do since October. I've been rained out, my wood's been wet, it just hasn't been good, but today is the perfect opportunity to make the pumpkin cake. And not only is it going to be a pumpkin cake, but we are also going to have a cream cheese filling in our pumpkin cake. So people keep asking me, you just show us the final product. So I'm going to start from the beginning, although I've already made the cream cheese filling. But we're going to start making the cake mixed outside to show that yes, you can cook and do everything outside. So as soon as I get the cake mix emptied, there we go. So we have the lovely Pillsbury Perfectly Pumpkin Cake Mix. I'm trying to do this a little bit easy because I do have a lot of Boy Scouts that watch my episodes, and to try to do everything from scratch on a camping trip can be a little bit intimidating to start. So we'll just go with the beginning. So we have the cake mix, and the cake mix calls for 1 cup of water, and I have a 1 cup measuring spoon, which surprisingly I normally do not have on a camp out. So I kind of eyeball it, but today we'll do it right. So for my scouts, make sure you have your measuring cups and your chuck boxes. So we have 1 cup of water, and then it requires half a cup of oil, and I have my vegetable oil here, so we want to put that in there. So since this is 1 cup, a half of this should be a half cup, guys. I'm hoping my math works. Travis will call me and let me know if I am wrong. So we have a half a cup of the oil. And then it requires 3 eggs. And my neighbors have chickens, and if you've heard in the past months, I've been surprised because the chickens have been coming into our yard, but I'm not complaining anymore because they're leaving me presents. So these are fresh chicken eggs from our neighbor's chickens. We're going to add the chickens into the cake mix. And then I get to do the fun part, which is mix this by hand, because George, who is my cameraman today, say hi, George.
Hi, George.
I developed a fondness for his drill. And if you're out camping, you can use a drill with a mixer in it, and this goes a lot faster. But since I developed a fondness for George's drill, which is yellow in color, so I don't remember the name of it, but it's very expensive, and it ended up in my tool bag instead of George's tool bag, he found it again, and he's moved it someplace, and he hasn't shared the location. So I put a drill, not a cheap one from Harbor Freight, but a good drill on my Christmas list. So hopefully Santa will bring me one so I don't have to do this. Because honestly, I don't like mixing by hand. So I'll have to bribe George with pumpkin cake and assorted other goodies this afternoon so I can disclose the location of said drill, because we are going to be taking out Howie in a few weeks. And one of the reasons I really like the fancy drill that George has, whose name I can't remember, but it's yellow, is because when you have to put down the stabilizing jacks by hand, after a while you get tired. But if you have George's handy dandy yellow expensive drill that I'm not supposed to touch, it happens in a breeze. And that's one of the reasons why I like it so much, and then he has to come steal it back from me. Steal it. Wait a minute, I bought it. So I regifted it to myself. Yeah, that'll work. I'll go with that story for the day. So I did put a really snazzy drill on my Christmas list. So we'll see what happens, because I did get Howie this year, and I have been spoiled. And Barry tickets are still on there, but George is still saying no. And he says Duran Duran tickets are too expensive, and I don't think he would appreciate me sitting there oogling Simon Le Bon. So maybe I'll get a drill. Maybe there's a method to my madness, and surprisingly, this is mixing up rather quickly. So what's going to happen, I have the Dutch oven on the fire warming, so I can preheat it so it won't take as long, because the recipe calls for this to cook for 50 minutes. So I'm going to save you all the agony of me sitting out here chatting with you for 50 minutes, but I am going to get to do something with this mix, which also I've been really wanting to do for a while. is I finally found the silicone butt pan. I've wanted one for a while. They're a lot lighter to carry around when you're camping, and it fits into my 12-quart Dutch oven. So I really wanted to try this out and see how it works. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put half of the batter into, well, put some on top too, I guess. But that's always my way. It gives me something to taste test. Looks to be about half. It's coagulating nicely. So we have half of the cake batter in the bundt, and I pre-mixed the cream cheese filling. So it's 4 ounces of cream cheese, 3 tablespoons of water, 1 tablespoon of vanilla, and 3/4 cup of powdered sugar, which is going to be our filling for the cake mix. And then what we're going to do now is just put this in the bundt pan, hopefully get it in the center. Go away, fly, you bother me. You fly, you bother me. And you even get a singing today, isn't that awesome? But I do hope everyone is enjoying this holiday season and we're remembering what it's all about, which is the birth of Christ and sharing his love with others. If you haven't spoken to a friend or family member in a while, give them a call, say hello, tell them that I told them I reminded you to do so while we investigate our pumpkin cake. I'm really looking forward to it because I can tell you I did this actually in the mixer, the cream cheese filling. It tasted pretty good, so I'm hoping that transfers over here into the cake. So I've made this lovely mess inside, got all the cream cheese in there. Got to leave a little left for the cameraman. And now we're going to put the remainder of the bundt cake mix in. I'm going to switch actually because this will work a little better. On top, and just spread it around evenly. And I'm not a really great dessert maker. It's not been my thing. I normally do better with meat type dishes. So I have my fingers crossed that this works. Although if you ask some of my scouts, my Boston cream cake is pretty good. I've caught some scouts actually with their heads in the bowl trying to get out all of the, as I called it, the fluff to the cake. And that young man currently is in Coast Guard boot camp. So Andrew, if you get a chance to see this, I wish you well. Merry Christmas. I hope the Coast Guard takes very good care of you this year. And we have cake mix in said pan. So the next step to our adventure is we're going to come over here to the fire. I gotta get my gloves first, because they're over here on the other table. My back view. And I'm going to take the Dutch oven off. Now, so while we're out here, I always multitask. I'm seasoning a smaller Dutch oven that needed some work. So we did that. And I have a little baker's rack in the bottom so it doesn't stick. I'm going to set this in here. So as you see, the Dutch oven holds the bundt pan rather well. And I'm going to put that on there, and now I have to get some coals for the top. So normally, you know, we use the charcoal briquettes, but being that I have an open fire, it's a little bit trickier trying to get the temperature right. It's supposed to be at 350 degrees. So we're going to use the ow, it's hot on my bare hand method of doing this. Miss Margie, I hope you're enjoying your trip this weekend. I look forward to seeing you on Monday, because Miss Margie's one of the people who likes to have me explain everything as I go step by step. She has started her adventure in Dutch oven cooking, so I try to help where I'm able. And now we have the top that is very hot, so I should obtain my 350 degree cooking temperature. I'm going to raise the bottom because in a Dutch oven, when you're baking, you want the majority of the heat to be on top and not the bottom. So we get that centered. And now we'll just do our typical 15-minute turnaround of the lid on top, make sure that the heat stays there. We'll be back after when it's all done cooking. We'll see you then. Welcome back. It's been an hour, so we're going to take a look at the pumpkin cake with the cream cheese filling. So we're going to take a look and see how we're doing here. I would say that we have success. It's separated nicely. As you see, it's doing fantastic, so I'm going to take this off the fire. Set it here for right now. So when I get it cut, I'll see if I can get a video, if I can keep George away from it, so we can get another video, because as he puts it, he can't video and sample at the same time. So if you don't get to see the insides, I'm sure there'll be Facebook postings telling you just how good it is. In the meantime, Merry Christmas. I wish you all a Happy New Year. There may be another episode of BBV before the end of the year, but if there's not, again, Happy New Year. We'll be talking to you after I lost my train of thought. I apologize for that. But anyway, I love you. Talk to you soon. Bye now.